Welcome to the Conversion Therapy Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jordan.
I'm your other co-host, Justin.
The reason I paused is because I was thinking this is episode 6, correct?
Oh yeah, this would be.
Okay.
I just got the link to. Wait, hold on. No, this is episode 7.
Really?
I think I just got the link to episode. Oh wait, is this? Wait, because we already have our next week's episode filmed, right?
Yes.
I got the link to this week's episode, and this week's episode is episode 5.
I think it's 5. Yeah.
So next week would be 6, and this is 7.
Oh shit. Okay. Welcome
Man,
to
this is
episode.
lucky number 7.
Welcome to episode 7 then.
It's gonna be really awkward if this is episode 6.
Well,
But it should be episode 7.
It shows the listeners how well prepared we are for our
Exactly.
podcast. We don't even know what episode this is.
Exactly.
I just want to quickly mention I'm like over the last 48 hours, I've gotten really obsessed with this band that I should be embarrassed to like.
Do I know that? Do you think I know them?
Yes, you will.
Panic at the Disco?
No, it's like a pop punk boy band.
Pop punk boy band?
Yeah, that's how I describe them.
Do they have original songs or do they do covers?
They have original songs. I actually saw them open for Chainsmokers in 2019, but I wasn't a fan at this point.
Can you give me a subtle hint? Is there a not well known song or
Okay, I'll give you a collab they did with Chainsmokers.
Okay.
The song was called "Who Do You Love." That's a big fucking hint, dude.
I don't listen to the Chainsmokers. No tea. I don't think the Chainsmokers
you're gay,
are that good.
so you should know this.
But they're with the Chainsmokers. That's a full dilution of my sexuality in relation to what we're talking about.
Do you not like the Chainsmokers?
No. Straight up. I don't see the hype in them. I actually don't think any of their songs are good.
That's the end of episode 7.
With the exception of Paris. And Paris is
that's a good fucking song.
It's fine. It's just not
fine.
bad. It's fine.
It's epic.
It's fine. But what's another hint? They're a pop punk band?
Okay, I'll give you another hint, but you're gonna get it.
Okay.
You're gonna get it from this hint.
I hope.
The first character of their band name is a number.
The first character of their band name is a number?
Yes.
Holy fuck. 3 Doors Down?
I said a pop punk
Bitch,
boy band.
I don't know.
Not like a redneck fucking 90s rock band. Sorry for all the 3 Doors Down fans. I actually have an album from them, so
I actually don't mind 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, me too.
It's Not My Time, bitch. That's a good ass fucking song.
That's a good song. Can I just tell you now?
Do you have another hint?
No.
What's the number?
5.
It's 5?
The fuck? Dude, I didn't even know these people before 2 days ago.
What their name?
You're cheating right now, aren't you?
I swear to God, I'm not. I don't have my phone. I literally, the only thing that's pulled up next to me is my browser source for references, and then my our call that I'm recording off of, and then my OBS so that I can record.
It's 5 Seconds of Summer.
Oh, okay, get the fuck out of here. They're not a pop punk band. They're a fucking pop band. A punk band?
When I saw them, okay, but maybe it's clouding me because when I saw them live, they were their structure on stage was like a rock band. There was 2 guitarists, there was a bass player and a drummer, and then there was a vocalist.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of boy bands. Actually,
That's not
I take
true.
that back. Well,
That's
that's
true.
a lot. Actually, that's a lot of current boy bands, with the exception of K-pop.
Well, what about okay, what's a current boy band that has a guitarist and bass player and a drummer?
There's one that's similar to 5 Seconds of Summer. I don't know their name.
Oh.
But they had 1 hit and then they faded away. I can't remember their name though.
Oh. Okay, anyway.
But obviously when people think of boy bands, they think of One Direction, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, BTS. Well, one that's 3 of those are from back when. Even One Direction is from years ago. And fucking BTS is K-pop, which a lot of K-pop boy bands are like that, where they're boy bands. What I would think boy bands are.
Yeah, but when I think of boy bands, I think One Direction, the Jonas Brothers, and I guess the Jonas Brothers played instruments. Is that wrong or
shouldn't
right?
it be okay, full T, shouldn't it be boy choir? Because band, isn't that the introduction of instruments?
I mean, if
but I
you're
mean, I guess a choir is no. I take that. What? Because like band class, it was just all like flutes, clarinets, guitars, trombones, trumpets. But then like choir was just singing. So like, wouldn't the Backstreet Boys be a boy choir?
If you want to like be true to the English language, then you're probably right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, boy choir. Come on, boy choir.
Okay.
Let's
So
work.
yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, we're going to be discussing some current topics like every week. First thing we're going to be discussing is because today's date, being November the 21st, the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict came out 2 days ago.
All right. Are we surprised?
No,
No.
we are not. I was hearing, so I heard, I might have even heard it from you, but they were saying that 16 of the jurors, this was like 4 days ago, had decided and they were trying to talk two over. And I was like, right when I heard that, I was like, okay, it's an acquittal. It's a full acquittal.
Oh, 100%. This jury was a non-sequestered jury. For those of you who don't know what that is, they get to go, like, hey, if you're a sequestered jury, you're basically most likely going to be in a hotel room. You're off to yourself. You're not really doing anything besides this case, this case is very high profile. This case should have had a sequestered jury. I honestly think the fact that they were non-sequestered had a decent play into this. But, like, they went home to their families, to their friends. Like, they were free to do anything. Which, like, when you're dealing with a lot of high-profile cases, the odds are is that you're going to be sequestered if you're a part of the jury. Which I actually was surprised to read that they weren't. I was like, what the fuck? Like, my immediate thought is that this is a no-brainer. This is not even something that I'm going to have to read about because they're going to be sequestered. But no, they weren't sequestered. They were free to go home. They were free to talk amongst themselves. They were free to talk with their friends, talk with their family. And, like, Kenosha isn't, as far as I've seen, like, Rittenhouse was looked at as like a fucking hero by Kenosha residents. So like I wouldn't expect them to be I haven't actually seen the statistics of how they vote or like the voting layout of the city. I don't know if it's Democratic or Republican, but yeah, I think it has a heavy play. And then people were trying to say that the judge was a Democrat. Girl, in what fucking world is the judge a Democrat? Maybe back in the fucking 40s.
Do you know why? Do you know what made them say that?
Probably because he was appointed by a Democratic, like state representative, which I think he was.
Well, the thing is, did you see after the verdict was read, like how he was like how he was talking about the jury, like they were like the greatest jury he'd ever worked with in his entire life? Did you see that?
No, but I believe it.
It was really like, I don't know. It made me feel really weird because it's like, okay, they just read out these 4 counts that was it 4 left or 5 left after the judge threw. You think he threw 2 out? I thought there was 6 initially and he threw 2 out.
There were 7 initially.
Okay, so there was 5 that the verdict was being read out for. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it was read out and fucking Kyle Rittenhouse is fake crying with his lawyer, the judge went on for like 5 minutes about like how the jury he respects them so much because they took the case so seriously and he would love to work with them again in the future in 4 years when they're eligible again. And I'm just like, this is like, I don't know, this is like the wrong time for this.
This is not like supposed to be done as a judge, even if you have those feelings. Like, what the fuck?
He did say, I will point out that he did say that like, aside from the verdict itself, like the process of working with you was great. Like he wasn't saying that he wasn't approving their verdict, but still it just looked in poor taste to me. That's what stuck out to me when I was reading when I was watching the reading of the verdict.
It's so funny because people are like, oh, now do you feel like bad for or like against Kyle Rittenhouse and like he's crying now and like obviously you'd be crying in this situation. Like, okay, bitch.
He's not crying.
Are you fucking kidding me? Where are the tears? Where are the tears, Brenda? Where are the tears?
Well, I don't think that it's necessarily that there's no waterworks that makes it me not believe him. I think it's just that like if you take the whole package of like what you're seeing, like I can't even describe it. It's like he's like half hyperventilating, but then if you also look at like the structure of like what his face is doing, it just looks really fake to me.
It looks like it's falling apart.
But it also could be, here's the thing that it could be, and then I thought about this too, is he seems like a really socially awkward kind of dude. So like maybe the idea of like crying on national TV, like I can't, like that's tough, right? So like maybe it's just like this like weird like psychosomatic reaction to like crying on TV, or who knows. But to me, it doesn't look genuine. I'm going
Oh
to put it
no.
that way.
Literally, I like rewatched the video of him crying on the stand, and like he was like, "Oh no, no, no," and then like he literally paused for half a second and looked at his defense, and I'm pretty sure he did this just for validation that he
No,
was pulling
didn't.
it
He look
off.
at he looked at the judge.
No, he did look at the judge, but I'm saying
And
separate
no,
from that, he looked at the defense.
yes. And do you know what that look said when he broke? It was like, are they buying it?
Oh
It was like,
yeah,
I was like, okay, let me look and see what their facial reactions are.
100%. And then
So it was like
okay,
he broke character, and it was like,
to the people out there that are like, would you be crying in this situation? Bitch, if I was Kyle Rittenhouse, no fucking shit, I'd be crying. Because, bitch, I killed 2 people. That wasn't self-defense, sweetheart. It wasn't self-defense. Casey Anthony is free if you want to argue with me, depending on semantics of the fucking criminal justice system of the U.S. But this was not self-defense, my dear. If I literally went into that, I would think that I'm going to be sentenced to life in prison because I myself know that I'm fucking guilty. And if I was given the verdict of not guilty, no fucking shit, I'd be crying. Anyone that is sane would fucking cry. If there are 2 options that they were leaning towards, the one that they were leaning towards is fucking going to prison for the rest of your life. The other is being acquitted of all charges and having your life free. So yeah, I'm going to be crying and surprised. Although I don't know if he was actually, I don't think he was fully surprised.
no, I bet you his lawyers were telling him that you're fine when they were deliberating.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so fucking ironic to me. It's so ironic to me. I don't know. There are people that I know that think that it was self-defense, and I mean, I don't really have much to say to y'all because anyway. But
yeah, there's
no,
people I know that also think it was self-defense, and it actually kind of ticks me off. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you're entitled to your opinion, but like I don't know.
yeah,
I
you're
don't-
entitled to your wrong opinion. Totally. But did you see the picture that was taken after once he was in like the car going home?
No, I didn't.
No tears. Didn't even look like he had been crying. Just a full smile.
Well, okay, and I want to talk too about those 2 pieces of evidence that the judge excluded early on in the case, like the one of the video of him talking about how if he had his gun, he'd shoot those blacks that were. Well, the thing, and I don't know if you were able to find this out. So in the video that you sent me,
Yeah.
the lady's saying that they're just black people that were shopping. Okay.
Yes.
So I saw on NBC they were saying that it's possible, like so. And I'd have to do more research into this, but they believed that those people were shoplifting. And I don't know what their evidence for that was.
Their evidence for that is that they were black. That's it. They were
And that's
holding
what
bags. They
and
were
that's what I
literally
was
holding
going to
bags.
say.
If you are shoplifting, you do not grab a fucking bag to carry your stuff in. You do not grab a grocery bag. You grab whatever you fucking want and you leave. That's what happens if you're shoplifting.
Mm-hmm. But
Like,
hypothetical
jogging. They're not sprinting. They're not running. They're literally like walking fast / jogging as black people. Like I don't understand why like people's first instinct is to think that they're shoplifting.
For listeners who don't know what we're talking about, there was a I think it was a Snapchat video, right?
I don't know. It was either Snapchat or like a camera roll video.
It was a video of like I don't know how long before the
15 days.
15 days before the Kenosha shooting. There's a video of Kyle with some people, and they were watching these black people inside of a store who are either shopping or shoplifting. And he basically says, if I had my gun right now, I'd kill them.
Yeah.
And the judge early on in the trial decided to exclude the evidence. I'm not exactly sure why. But it sounds stupid to me. I mean, it's very relevant,
extremely relevant.
And then did you hear about that other video of him beating up a 14-year-old?
The girl?
Yeah. So they excluded that too. And that's very relevant because it's his character that like I don't know, that could have been the greatest piece of evidence for the prosecution, and the prosecution needed all the evidence that they could get because the lawyer was an idiot. I'm sorry.
Like, so stupid. I mean,
like, you know what? I take that back. He wasn't an idiot. He did a very poor job.
Yes.
Very poor job.
Even if with the job that he did, Rittenhouse should still be in jail. I think I don't think that.
I mean, I agree.
I don't think that the prosecution was not good at all. But I don't think that they did a poor enough job to where Rittenhouse should not be convicted. I think no matter what job the prosecution did, I think even if the prosecution did the same job as the lawyer that was the prosecutor in the Ahmaud Arbery case. I think if they did even as great of a job, if not better than them, that Rittenhouse would still be acquitted of all charges. I don't think it mattered how
So
well they did.
I agree with you. I do agree with you, but I think I can pinpoint the day in the jury's eyes that the prosecution lost the case. It was the day that they cross-examined Rittenhouse. They lost
Yeah,
the case that day.
100%.
He should have tore him apart, but Rittenhouse won the exchange.
I think Rittenhouse only won because of the judge. The judge
Okay,
gave so much leniency and allowed for so much to be like said in front of the jury that we brought this up before that shouldn't have been. Like,
okay, so yes, I agree with you, but I think that so he was obviously and rightfully so was well prepared for this line of questioning because he did really well when the prosecuting attorney was trying to trip him up. He was saying, okay, well, were you intending to kill them? Were you intending to use deadly force? Were you like, he kept coming at him with the same types of questions.
yeah.
And Kyle was like, I was just trying to stop them. I was just trying to stop them. Yes, I used deadly force. I didn't mean to kill them. I was just trying to stop them. Like he kept saying the same thing. And honestly, he did a good job. But what I was going to say to you earlier, we were talking about the video of Kyle saying that he would, if he had his gun, he'd shoot those shoppers or whatever. Okay, hypothetical debate. So let's say for argument purposes, let's say they were shoplifting. Okay, that's still a reprehensible.
I was gonna say, I was like,
that's still fucked up.
Like, baby,
like it doesn't matter if they were or weren't. That's
exactly.
Still fucked up.
Like, my dear, I walked out of a fucking Walmart one time and a lady was stealing makeup. Do you think I'm gonna be like, oh, I wish I had my gun. I wish I had a gun. I wish I could shoot her. Bitch, no, that's not the consequences like that fucking shoplifters get.
And also, this is like goes without saying, but let's say these shoplifters were white. What do you want to bring?
He wouldn't have even paid attention. He would have been gone. He wouldn't have even been looking their way. He would have heard some alarms. He would have looked back and been like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Seen the color of their skin and been like, oh, nothing's going on. All right, let's go. Let's go to McDonald's. Like, girl.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, oh my God. It's just so fucking, and you want to know what's also funny? The party of compliance and this specific person of, oh, make sure you comply. If you're not complying, then obviously police have a means to arrest you or to harass you or to assault you. Ben Shapiro, I told you what his profile picture was on Twitter, right? Yeah. It says, do not comply. The jokes just keep writing themselves at this point. It's just so fucking funny.
What do you think about so it basically took the jury 24 hours to deliberate the case, which is really short. I don't know. That made me sad when I heard that. Just like right around 24 hours.
I mean, like, of course this is like super shocking and I'm not like, okay, I don't know what emotion to connect with this. It's not disappointment because it's expected. It's not like, obviously it's a sad situation.
I was still angry. I expected it, but 100%. I was still angry.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it wasn't shocking at all. It wasn't like surprising. I wasn't speechless. Like, this was gonna fucking happen. And yeah, it's so fucking funny to me because there are women in prison right now that are in prison for self-defense, for defending themselves against sex trafficking, against their rapists, against sexual assault. And they're in prison because they've killed another person in self-defense. And they don't have this leniency. Many of those women are people of color. Mm-hmm. And it's so, oh my God, it's so fucking funny to me. It's so fucking, it's not even funny. It's just hysterical. It's a joke. It's like a complete fucking joke. And people that defend certain actions, like straight up, even if I know them, it just puts such a bad taste in my mouth. And it makes me think 100% differently about you. That you defend a person's actions like this, but you won't do the same for someone else. Like you're just a hypocritical fucking stupid bitch.
But I think that what a lot of right wingers who think that he should have got off of these charges think is they think that like they won't phrase it in this way, but they think that like their approval for what he did and for him to get off is backed by the fact that they don't think that those protests or riots, whatever you want to call them, should have been happening in the first
Exactly.
place.
They think that a just response or consequence for rioters is death. They value the fucking stance of a tower more than a fucking person's life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I don't know what you'll think about this. Is like, so I heard, so apparently right after the jury or the verdict was read out, they had like, there was a bunch of police there. The National Guard was on hand. Like, do you not think, like, should that not have been a thing? Like
January 6th?
Yeah, like okay, fine, that too. But like that night, the night in Kenosha, like where
100%.
like, you know, like where were they then? You know, like I don't know.
It is baffling to me how, like, oh my God, he's just free of all charges. All charges. He ain't have no fucking consequences. And then it's so funny to me because so many people are like, oh, he's a kid. Yeah, no, baby, he's an adult. He's a fucking adult now. He's not a kid. He's an adult. And even at the time of his crime,
he was a minor.
Even at the time of his crime, he was 17. Mm-hmm. Let's not act like his brain doesn't function like fucking properly here.
No, but for semantics, he was a minor.
That doesn't excuse his actions.
It doesn't excuse his actions, but according to criminal law, he is held
that's
to a
fine.
Standard.
That's fantastic, and he was tried as an adult, as he should have been. And when you're tried as an adult, you're viewed as an adult in this case. Because
no, I agree. I'm just stating it. I agree.
Oh yeah, I know, but like a lot of people are like excusing all of his actions because of the fact that he was 17 at the time of his crime, which is so fucking ironic. Because the crime that he was committing, he was basically posing himself as an adult. Because guess what, baby? You need to be an adult to do what he did. And he did it illegally. And so I just, yeah, it's not surprising to me that, and I read a post about this. It was like, this system is not broken. The system is intended like to work this way and is working exactly the way it was supposed to, which is extremely correct. It's a fucked up system, but it's working.
Who said that?
It was just a post that I saw, but it was just, it's working the way that it was supposed to work. Nothing's going to change about this system.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Did you see what Biden had to say about the jurors?
I saw that his office released a statement. I didn't see what he said.
It was basically, I trust the jury process, and this further proves the fact that I trust it. So he basically agrees with the verdict.
You know what that is?
That's I have the votes, so I'm going to turn on what I said before, because he called Rittenhouse a white supremacist and said that he should be in jail.
I don't think that that's him saying I have the votes. I think that that's him trying to pretend like to believe in the system. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a leader being like, no, like our system is just, because then the alternative would be like, okay, like I need, like our system is fucked and I need to change it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like the American sort of like believe in the American way. Like I think that's why he said what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked up, but I think that's why he said it. So I'm not going to take credit for this, but I heard an opinion that I'm interested in that said that basically that this situation will continue because of the combination of defense, like sort of self-defense law as it is, and then also like what they call it is liberal self-defense law, and the combination of accessibility of guns.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like
this like full judgment gives away to many other Kyle Rittenhouses that think that they can just murder someone and claim self-defense. They can put themselves in a situation where they're saying, oh, you know, I was just trying to defend myself, when they're provoking and looking for danger, not looking for a way out or a way to keep themselves safe.
Yeah.
And then they can just claim it. And many of them will get away with it. Many of them will get away with murder. And many of the white ones will get away with murder. And that's just the way that the criminal justice system works. But yeah, I don't know. There are I don't know. It's just sometimes baffling to me that so many people argue like, oh, you know, like you don't know the facts about the case. You don't know this, baby. You don't either. And it's not even an either. You just don't. Like, you have not seen the video, because if you have seen all the videos and all the evidence and all the videos that the judge did not want to be part of the trial, then you cannot argue self-defense, my dear. Even if even if the videos weren't there that the judge took off the trial, even if that never happened, let's say this whole grocery store thing that he was caught on video saying he wished he had his AR or whatever, even if that never happened, even if he didn't beat up a female, even if that never happened, not self-defense. Still not self-defense.
Agree. Completely agree. Completely
Like,
agree.
it's just, it's heavily baffling to me that people think it is. And it's just like, there are videos out there that are like, oh, you know, like, this doesn't show anything about his character. We're not saying he's a good person, but it was like, no, it was not. There's no but. Like, his character is shit. He should be locked up in prison for the rest of his life. Like, there's no but. There's just that.
Well, the other thing too is that, and apparently the prosecution knew this. I heard this recently, is that they had a feeling going into the trial that their best chance at a conviction was the gun charge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So like that, they were crippled like basically before the each side even presented their case.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. There's something. Oh yeah. Do you remember that? Remember the drone footage they got that came in like later on into the trial?
Yes.
So where did that come from? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Because
I
it was
have
like
no idea.
it's like military grade like this drone footage. Like so they have like it's also weird that like for a murder like I don't know like I'm trying to think of an example where like murders occur and they have like for trial multiple angles of it.
Yeah.
You know, like has it like that? I don't, that never happens.
Like, not just about like, you know, like an intersection where like an intersection has like cameras and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you get it on like, of course that's normal, but like drone footage, videos
And
from like
cell phone,
multiple,
yeah.
yeah, like multiple sides of many people filming it. Yeah. That's kind of my first thought. I was like looking at it and then I was like, wait, why is how like, how is this a thing? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I still don't know. It was very confusing to me.
Yeah. And I said this before, but I think that the judge made a really big mistake by yelling at the prosecution in front of the
In front of the
jury.
jury, yeah. I mean, I think the
Uh,
judge is just a mistake as a person, but
yeah, he was. He was. Yeah.
yeah.
I bet you the defense probably pushed for him.
Oh, of course, 100%, 100%. Um,
Yeah. And you know how you were saying that most of the white ones will get off with self defense?
are you gonna correct me and say all?
No, I was going to say that well, some of the black ones wouldn't even stand trial because
They'd be dead.
yeah, the way Kyle Rittenhouse had his hands in the air, they would have been shot.
Yes. They'd be like, your hands are in the air. That's a weapon. No, your fingers look like a gun to me. Your fingers in the air.
Honestly,
You had a ring on your finger, and that looked like a weapon. I thought that was a weapon.
but think about this though, okay? So like think about that exact same situation. So Kyle Rittenhouse, he had his hands in the air, but he had a semi-automatic weapon belted to his chest.
Very easily accessible. It's half a
So it's
second
like
for him
so
to
it's like
fucking grab that weapon and shoot.
yeah. So I'm saying if there was a black person in a similar situation, had a semi-automatic gun at their chest, hands in the air, they're like it's not up for debate. They're getting
No.
shot.
Yes.
And they're not getting shot once.
Exactly. They will get shot by the police officer. They will be down on the ground, maybe even dead already. And the officer will take their gun that is around their fucking chest and shoot them more. That's what would happen. But yeah, it's baffling to me that I've said this once and I will say this again. I am so thankful sometimes that I do not live in the US. So thankful. Like, Canada isn't perfect by any means. I wouldn't even describe it as good, but it is fucking miles better than the States. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think racially Canada's better, but Canada still has a long way to go
Oh,
too.
100%.
I think the main problem with our justice system is like is harsh sentences for brutal crimes.
And I also think that there's just like a pure and like very apparent unfavoring against like people of color, especially like Native American, or sorry, not Native Americans, but I mean, technically they'd still be classified as Native Americans. Would they not?
I don't know. I would probably just call them Indigenous
Yeah,
Canadians.
true. Indigenous peoples. Somebody was trying to argue that Canadians are still like Americans, and I was like, no, no, that's not a thing. And they're like, yeah, well, you're from North America. I'm just like, hey, yes, you can say that we're North Americans because guess what? We're from the continent of North America, but we're not Americans. Like Americans is specific to the United States of America, but this person uh, didn't seem to be very well educated.
Does this person reside in the U.S. of A?
Yes,
No, that might be part of it.
it is very much so part of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I talked about this. I'm not surprised that this was the outcome. Obviously, it should not have been. If you're going off of standard law, this should not have been the outcome. But unfortunately, this is standard law in the United States of America with their criminal justice system. So obviously, this is dependent on what race the defendant is, straight up. And luckily for Rittenhouse, he was born white, so he gets to get away with murder. And he had a white judge too. I guess that's also another factor is the race of the judge. But
Yeah, but I think that's less of a factor. The judge isn't
oh yeah,
deciding the case, right?
I mean the judge can override it. He even talked about it. He said if the jury finds him guilty, he's going to look for a mistrial.
The judge said that?
Mm-hmm.
When did he say that?
He was talking about it with the defense.
On what grounds?
What do you mean?
What grounds would he be seeking a mistrial? Was it the attacking his
Well, no, because
right to remain silent?
obviously, as like a defense attorney, in certain cases, if like it's not going your way, you're going to seek a mistrial. The prosecution seeked a mistrial, I think, twice.
Like filed a motion or tried to do fucked up shit in the trial.
The defense?
Well, either.
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
Okay,
what
so
did they do?
what did they do?
Well, the defense didn't do anything because they didn't have to do anything. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like in the works or talk of it.
Okay.
And then the judge kind of played off of that, which is
Mm.
so fucking ironic to me.
Because I
But
thought you were referring to the fact, like when he was attacking his like right to remain silent, how that was like an obvious he was just trying to force a mistrial.
oh no! I think one of the prosecution's motions for a mistrial was because of the fact that the judge would not take in critical evidence related to the case. And so he wanted, which is a very
That's quite valid.
exactly, which is a very valid, but obviously like that's not going to happen. But yeah, and then of course this judge was caught making like racist remarks against Asians. Had Trump's fucking inauguration song as his fucking ringtone. But yeah, he's a Democrat. Am I right?
I still can't get over that.
Yeah, yeah, it's so fun. So fun living nowadays. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
Should we move to the next one?
I guess so.
So I'll lay this one out.
Good.
So a pro tennis player, Chinese tennis player named Peng Shuai. I don't know the exact timeline, but within the last week, tweeted on, or not tweeted, sorry, posted on Chinese social media because like Facebook, I'm pretty sure Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat are all banned in China, but they have like their own sort of regulated social media. So she posted on her social media account accusing a former vice premier of the Chinese Communist Party of sexual assault. 30 minutes later, her account was deleted, and she basically wasn't seen for days after that. There was a statement released by, I think it was somebody in the Chinese Communist Party on her behalf. I just don't want to get this wrong. Chinese officials released statements saying she is fine and essentially the post wasn't created by her and the allegation is not true. Yeah, so basically that proved nothing. And then there was a break that happened yesterday that I mentioned to Justin. Basically, she was seen yesterday having dinner in a restaurant in Beijing with her coach and a bunch of her friends. And that was posted by editor-in-chief of the Communist Party of China's, so the official newspaper of the Communist Party of China. So that proves, so that I think the only thing we can derive from that video is that she's alive. We don't know if she's making her own choices. We don't know if she is safe. We just know she's alive.
Apparently, she's on like a video call today of
Oh,
some
okay.
sort. Yeah, I saw like an article about that. It was like, let me see. Said she is safe in a video call, and then I guess the International Olympic Committee said that. Yeah, Olympic officials say they've made contact.
Yeah, but the IOC is trying to sweep it under the rug so bad because they want the Olympics to go ahead. They don't want
Oh yeah,
countries boycotting it. They don't want to have a reason to have to pull it from China. The IOC is trying so hard to look the other way on this.
that doesn't sound like a big company. Wow, I'm very surprised. But yeah, I just want to clarify because obviously we're going to be posting this episode in a couple weeks. So according to this article that I'm reading, this allegation happened November 2nd. So I think I hope I'm saying this properly, but Weibo is the social media service they have in China.
Yeah, right.
And that was where it was posted. And then on here, you said it was her account that was deleted, but all that I've seen in the articles was that it was the post that was deleted 20 minutes after it being uploaded.
I heard it was it was basically her account that was wiped. Like it's not there anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, people had like screenshots of it, which obviously,
but the only real like regulatory body that's taking any sort of hardline stance is the WTA tennis. They're saying that they're basically not going there anymore until this is sorted out. A lot of her colleagues in the tennis world are standing behind her, but basically like there's a lot of rhetoric around like I would love this. Like I would love Canada to boycott the Chinese Olympics. I would love it, but the only thing that's being discussed right now, I hear, is a diplomatic boycott, which just means that like Trudeau and Biden and people won't go to China for the Olympics, which who really cares? Like that's not really doing anything. But I think so. Well, from what I hear, especially the West, they're very, very tentative to take a hardline stance for a bunch of reasons because they view it as Chinese with their own citizen, for one. So like we won't get involved kind of thing. Second, just economic repercussions. Like China has a lot of power.
Yeah, and then I'm reading this thing here. It says, it was kind of mentioned before, but it says on the 17th of November, Chinese state media outlet China Global Television Network released an email allegedly written by Peng to chief executive of WTA, or Women's Tennis Association, Steve Simon, which stated that she was resting at home and that her allegation of sexual assault was not true and that she was not missing, as she was still considered missing. But oh yeah, and this email also criticized the WTA for releasing what it claimed was unverified information about Peng without her consent. The authenticity of the email was cast in doubt, with many pointing out that a typing cursor appears to be visible on the screenshot of the email. Interesting. He reiterated that Peng's sexual assault allegation must be investigated with full transparency and without censorship. He also threatened to withdraw WTA tournaments in China until sexual assault allegations made by Peng are properly addressed. Yeah, and then the International Tennis Federation later said in a statement that it was committed to player safety and supports an investigation into the whereabouts of Peng. From what I've seen, I mean, I haven't looked at too many of the articles from today. I wonder where. So you said she was with her coach and then some friends, or was it some other players on the team?
Yeah, it's from what I read, it was her tennis coach and then a few of her friends.
Okay. Yeah, because this was just like a video call, so it's not even like confirming a full location.
Do you think she's free?
No.
Neither do I.
I
think they're probably threatening her life or her family's life
100%.
if she doesn't comply.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually think she might even be a political prisoner when she's not making appearances. She might be the same thing that was happening to the two Michaels. She might just be in a tiny ass cell.
Yeah.
But I think too that like Chinese like so obviously communism, right? Like it's all about like this like the state's reputation globally, right? But I think that China, it's a little bit different than like let's say like the Soviet Union back in the days because like other communist states they inspire compliance through like violence and extreme authoritarian practices. But we're with China, it's a little bit different. They do use obviously authoritarian things. Like example would be like the COVID stuff when Wuhan was getting basically all of Wuhan was getting infected. They were literally locking people up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little bit more of citizens want to comply more than other communist places because of the Chinese Communist Party's reputation of bettering the average citizen's life. Like, I think I've said this to you before off camera, but like statistically speaking, no country has pulled more people out of poverty in the last 50 years than China.
Yeah.
So I think that the average citizen really believes in the country and what the government's doing. So they are willing to look the other way on a lot of different stuff. So that's a problem too.
100%.
Like, I mean, North Korea, right? Like a lot of people, they have to literally keep them from fleeing. You don't hear a lot of that coming out of China. No one really wants to leave.
Yeah. It's such like a, like, I honestly, like, I hadn't heard this before you had told me, like, that you wanted to talk about it. And I think the most common thought is, yeah, she's being basically held prisoner. No matter, like, the way that you look at it, because it's unfortunate, like, that things like this still come down to, like, being political, but, like, people on the left are obviously concerned for her safety and most likely won't believe a lot of things because it's just, like, I don't know, it's just a commonality to think that the Chinese government or even the Olympic committee is like hiding something and that she's not safe. But a lot of right-wing people are like, oh yeah, no, she's definitely not safe because it's China. I don't know. It's funny. It's really ironic to hear that kind of, I've heard it actually a couple times. It's just really ironic to hear that kind of explanation. Like, you're not actually concerned about her. You're just connecting it to the fact that she's in China. You're not, like, if this were anywhere else, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't give a shit.
But the thing that pisses me, well, two things. The thing that pisses me off about like that, you're right about the right wing opinion. But the thing that pisses me off is like, for example, like Trump, like he would take this like public stance about how China was so bad, but he was doing business with them the whole time. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Democrats will be more transparent about their feelings towards China. Like they want to work with them, but they're cautious about it.
Yeah.
Where with China, like Trump is talking all this shit about them, but yet he's still like borrowing money from them. He's still buying goods from them.
Well, I mean, like, look at his trade deal with China. Like, he got fucked by that trade deal. And probably still wanted me. Like, that was, I don't know, that was just, a lot of people knew that was going to happen, and it happened, and it wasn't like, well, to some it wasn't shocking, to others it was like, wow, we really didn't expect this to happen. But no, he got butt fucked by that trade deal. And that is a heavy reason as to, like, I don't know, there were just like, it's like a domino effect with Trump as to why he was a fucking horrible president, and that was part of the reason. Like, this was like, I don't know, from what I've heard about it from like experts that were talking about it, they were just like, this wasn't like a hard trade deal. Like, this was a hard trade deal to fuck up as much as Trump did, and he fucked up. And I mean, it's not shocking. Like, he's not a politician, he's a fucking businessman, and he's a horrible businessman.
I don't think you can say he's a horrible businessman.
I mean, I'm saying it. He didn't. I just, yeah. If many people had a small loan of $1 million and the chances that he did to build a business, not only would they do it, they would do it better than him.
He didn't just build a business; he built an empire.
He didn't. Okay, he did not do that by himself.
I know that
majority of the work that was done.
He came from a rich family. I know that.
Yeah, even if like majority of the work that was done in said empire was not even his doing.
Maybe I'd have
He
to.
just was in charge of it because he was given that position at an early age.
Mhm. And I'd have to do more research into that. But just like knowing what I know, I would have trouble saying that he is not a good businessman.
And I mean, even if like he should not be a politician, like
No,
just
I
because you're a good businessman,
100% agree with
like there
that.
are people that are like, oh yeah, like he should be because he's a good businessman. That's not a correlating factor. Like
Hmm.
that doesn't make any sense
Well,
at all because like
you know what?
if you look at politics as a business, you've already lost unless you're
Mhm.
Republican.
Well, you know what Obama said that like he said like where his like sort of campaign started towards in the primaries for the Republican Party.
Hmm.
He said that it was when he was accusing Obama of being like not born in the U.S.
Wait, what?
When he
You
was
just
saying,
you just said Obama.
"Oh shit," when Trump was accusing Obama of not being born in the U.S. When he was saying, "Produce your birth certificate, produce your birth certificate, prove it." That's like when he gained notoriety in the political scene.
Yeah.
And so like and that's how he started out. He started out with like this outlandish accusation, right? And the right ate it up, right? And so he just kept them coming. That's like literally a microcosm of his entire presidency.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. That's just I remember it's just so funny because I can't remember what show that was doing this. I'm pretty sure it was like the Trevor Noah show, but they would go out to like Trump rallies and ask them questions, just kind of like fuck around. And then there was one lady talking about it like we need proof that he was from here and that he's been living here for whatever. And then he was like, "Okay, if you were given that proof and you found that he was from here, what would you do?" And she's like, "I wouldn't believe it because he's not from here." And then he's like, "Yeah, exactly. Like, how can you tell? Like, his birth certificate isn't going to prove anything." She's like, "Exactly." And he's like, "So, why do you believe it with Trump, even though he's never shown any documents?" And she's like, "Because he's been here forever." And then he's like, "So you know that he's been here since he was a child? You know what he looked like as a child, and that he was here on these grounds?" And then she's like, "Well, everyone knows it, and nobody questions it." And then like he just kind of like looks over at the camera, but. It's just so fucking funny, dude. These are the same people that think that America has like a fucking official language.
You know what that reminds me of? When the Rick Mercer show used to be on CBC, when he'd go ask Americans just like random questions, but he'd like ask them leading questions. So like he'd be like, "How do you feel that like Canada uses a 32-hour clock?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous. I can't believe it." And there's another one where he was like, "We want to congratulate Canada on their first paved road." And they're like, "Congratulations, Canada. This is so great." Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the paved road one. That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. I used to
What,
think like there was something that was said to me as a child. I was very young. This is one of my first memories, and I was basically told that like half an hour was 20 minutes.
wait, who told you that?
I can't remember who. I think it was somebody in my family, but like I literally was so young that I was like, yeah, half an hour is 20 minutes. And then I was told that it was 30, like not too long after. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, why would you say that? Why would you lie to me about that? It's 20 minutes. But I still don't know, like, like what the fuck?
You know what's funny is so you know how when you go on road trips or whatever, like with your family when you're young and you're like, it's like, how are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Mm-hmm.
So like my parents, what they always used to say to me is they'd be like, they would never say like, "Oh yeah, half hour." How I denoted time would always be how many episodes of Power Rangers. So
Oh, God.
they'd be like, "5 more Power Rangers," and I'd be like, "Okay, like I get what that means."
What Power Rangers was it? Do you remember?
Like the first ones,
Oh, like the
like the first ones,
originals.
dude. I was so obsessed.
I like watched Dino Charge for a bit just because like James Davies.
Mm. I think I still
So
have a
good
bunch of
looking.
VHSs, a bunch of Power Rangers VHSs.
Yeah, they took a Dino Charge off of Netflix. I
Mm.
found out because I was like, oh, let's watch another episode after like a couple months of not watching it. And then I was like, oh, okay, never mind, I guess.
But one thing I wanted to say earlier is when I mentioned to you that I wanted to talk about Peng Shuai, like I 100% thought she was dead at that point.
Oh,
100% thought she
yeah,
was
of
dead.
course. That's definitely like a very good possibility in this case. I mean, well, I guess she was seen in public. I was gonna say if it was just the video call and like maybe
Yeah.
everything was through like phone, I would still think that she was dead.
Yeah. If it
And they
was
were
just that
pulling like a
statement,
yeah, they
if
were
it was
pulling
just
like a
that statement,
jigsaw-esque kind of
yeah.
like
Yeah.
video and voice memo thing, and then just pretending that she was alive.
Hmm.
But
Should we move on?
I guess so. You
Okay.
wait before we move on. Have you like? Do you go on TikTok now often that you have it?
Not since the first day, but I get all these push notifications now that irritate me.
Why? Wait, why do you get them? Like, what do they say? Is it just like somebody posted a video or?
Yeah, it'll just be like some sort of like whatever their caption is for their video. But it's not even like people that I follow. It's just like random shit. But okay, so here's the thing. I now understand how someone could spend a shitload of time on that. Because it's like it's literally the app is designed to keep you watching videos.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like so I could understand how you could burn like 2 hours on that. Like
I
it's super easy.
Before I got TikTok, I was like, I'm never getting TikTok. Like that's so
Me
cringe.
too.
And then it's so annoying because now I'm on TikTok like a lot of time, and it's just like it's so annoying. But there's this one TikTok of this guy that does like an acting challenge. So he's like, I'm the blue line, you're the red line, and then he gives you like a script that you read off of. And he's like a prime example of, and it's just so funny because this is so like unrelated to what anything that we're talking about, with the exception of it being on TikTok. But he's decent looking. Like in terms of like looks on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give him like a 6, 6.5, maybe a
Okay.
7 on a good day. But his voice is so fucking hot. Like, holy fuck, he has
What
a
are we
hot
talking? Are we
voice.
talking deep voice? Like what are we talking?
No, I'll send you the video after, but no,
Okay.
not like a deep voice. It's just like a fucking sexy voice. Like his voice is a 10, an 11. It carries that fucking 7 up to fucking like 9. But it is proof that people with fucked up hairlines can still be attractive. It gives me hope as a 23-year-old.
And for those of you who, I feel like we should explain the reference. So, Justin always makes fun of me for my nose. So, like, there was one day at work, and like, I didn't mean it as an insult, but he took it as one. So I was
Bitch,
like,
anyone would. It sounds so
so,
bad.
but I actually meant it as like, yeah, don't worry, it's not a big deal kind of thing. But like, I was like, yeah, you don't have anything wrong with you, except like you just have a little bit of a receding hairline. And oh man, he like, it's like I punched him in the
I
face.
literally like I was like I can't remember. I think I was reacting to the fact that you were like, yeah, I can't think of anything wrong with you, and then I was like, oh my, and then you were like, except for your hairline's receding a bit, and I was like,
No,
oh
but I
my.
didn't say it like that.
Okay, well you said it. You didn't say it the way that you just said it.
No, I did. I totally said it like
No,
that. I
no.
was like, yeah, you just have a bit of a receding hairline.
Mm-mm.
That's what I
No,
said.
I'm pretty sure you said
I will
your
fight you
hairline's.
on this.
I will fight you on this, Jordan. I'll fucking
I'll fight you
win.
on this.
I'll bring
I
my
remember
fucking
it.
no. Don't even, bitch. You do not fucking remember it. Take that back, because you don't remember shit from that
Dude,
long
you're
ago.
pulling some Trump shit.
I'm
You're
not
just like
pulling some
you're
Trump shit.
rewriting the history
I'm not
book.
rewriting history. I'm not rewriting history, baby. That's what you said. I'm writing the history because that's the history that needs
I'm
to
not
be
going to yell
written.
at you on the podcast anymore, but you're
Good,
wrong.
because I don't want to edit the audio of your fucking stank ass Pinocchio ass yelling at me.
See, you hear what I have to put up with, people?
Yeah, like here what you have to put up with. Me
fucking this
calling you
fucking
out on your lies, your
this
Trump
fucking
lies, your
bald
fake
bitch.
news. You fucking you're the epitome of Trump's tweets. But yeah, he literally called me, or he said that I have a receding hairline. He said that my hairline's disgusting and I should never ever be proud of it. And I will never ever get into a relationship with somebody because I have such a disgusting and nasty hairline. And I'm a vile person. And I'm gay and I'm queer and he hates me. But I literally was like reacting to him being like, oh, like, yeah, I can't think of anything wrong with you besides. And then he literally, so I was like, oh my God,
That was literally his reaction. That was true. You just stared at me for like 5 minutes.
and then you were like, that's not meant to be mean. Even though I'm sure you've heard about it. And I was like, is that right, Pinocchio? Is that right? It's not meant to be mean. But yeah, that's so fucking funny. And then remember your face off joke? That joke was so fucking funny. Wait, how did you say it? I can't remember how you said that.
I think we were insulting each other like usual. And then I was like,
I think we were talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, have you ever seen the movie Face Off? And you're like, no. And I'm like, you should.
No, I think we were talking about it before, and then you explained the movie to me and how they like switched faces, and then you brought it up again. It was just so fucking funny. What's like the funniest thing that I think you've said this before, but I can't remember what it was. You've
I
like brought
remember,
it up.
I remember telling you that's like the funniest thing you've ever said, but I don't remember what it was either.
Right?
Yeah.
There's just so much content to go off of. I just don't know which one to choose. With you, it's more easy because it's only a selective few. But
Okay.
mm, mm, um, oh yeah, and then there was this other guy on TikTok that I found, and I looked at him, and I literally got the gut feeling. I was like, I could do like just a 5 minute timestamp of research, and I could find out that you're a conservative, and I was right.
You're right.
I found him on Instagram. I mean, he has his Instagram connected, but I clicked it, and then I looked at his following feed, and he's following PragerU, which is like this fucking company that's like committed to ending abortion by victimizing females and not actually doing anything to contribute to ending abortion. And then he's fucking following like this one account that's called Conservative Values, and their pronouns are NE/VER, so like never. So I mean, at least they have pronouns.
Okay, so I'm gonna piggyback before we go into the next topic. I want to piggyback a little bit on something.
I love piggyback. I literally just thought about getting piggybacked by somebody.
Conversation piggyback, not a physical one.
Well, still.
So apparently, like, so they're talking about this on Rogan the other day. Apparently, I guess Microsoft released like this super fucking woke ad the other day, and it was like, so each person would be like, I don't want to fuck this up, but they'd be like, you know, like I'm Joe, I go by his, him, blah 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 blah, and then so it'd be like they'd introduce themselves like that, and then like as it got further along, like it got even more woke. Like so they'd say their pronouns, and then this one girl was like, "We are on the unceded lands of," and then started listing off like 20 different tribes.
Did Microsoft do this? I'm assuming.
Yes. Microsoft, and like you forgot I listened to it and it's like you forgot that it was Microsoft. You're like, literally, is this just like an ad for wokeness?
Like, was the ad just for people to like get Microsoft or like get like?
I honestly don't even remember that part.
Interesting.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to. I'm gonna quickly do a Google search. Why don't you explain the next topic while I look this up?
All right. Okay, so yeah, the next topic we're going into is the case of Julius Jones. I feel like this has gained a lot of relevance as of recently, but I'll give kind of the details of his case, and then I'll go into why it's more relevant after I explain. But yeah, Julius Jones was convicted of, I think, wasn't it just first-degree murder?
I think so, yes.
I think his name was Paul Howell, I think. Yeah, Paul Scott Howell. So basically, this is what happened. Howell was a businessman who was shot to death while sitting in his GMC Suburban, which was parked in the driveway of his parents' home in Edmond, Oklahoma. This was all the way back in 1999. This was July 28th of 1999. So apparently, Howell's daughter, her name is Rachel, she was sitting in the backseat of the car, and she says she remembers seeing Jones approach the car before shooting her father in the head. Howell's sister, Megan, also testifies that she saw Jones shoot her brother. And then the murderer in this case then left in Howell's Suburban. I'm trying to say, even before I get into this, so Jones was originally sentenced to death. This was back in 2002. Why do I feel like people have done worse? Sorry, let me.
I know what you're gonna say.
Let me. Why do I feel like white people have done worse and just get like life sentences, if that, if not just 25 years or 50 years? And like, I don't know.
Sorry, why don't they get?
Yeah, like
sentences?
it's just like, well, I mean, okay, sorry, but I'm not actually asking. I know exactly why they don't get life sentences, but I just find it very like.
You do realize that a life sentence is actually not as bad as like 50 years, right?
No. I'm saying like Jones was sentenced to death.
Yes.
So I'm saying.
So why didn't you just get a life sentence?
Exactly, or like 50 years or 75 years or whatever.
Okay.
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 But yeah, so There's been a lot of controversy around this case because a lot of people argue that there's not enough evidence to convict him. And the basic fact that 1 in every 10 people on death row are later found to be innocent could have very much relevance to this case. So this has come kind of back to light. I wouldn't even say back to light. This is just kind of gained more attention recently because Jones was scheduled to be executed 3 days ago on the 18th. Well, it'll be more than 3 days ago by the time this episode is up. Where is it? Okay. 4 hours before his scheduled execution, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt commuted his sentence to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Trying to find more. So basically the defense of Jones and Jones himself and his family, they are saying that I guess there's a so-called partner in this, and they're saying that it's the partner that did it, and the partner slept over at Jones's house that night, and that's where all like the evidence of the fact that the gun was later found in his home, and there's like a I need to find it. But there's like a headband or something that was also found in his home. Oh, here we go. Witnesses at the time reported seeing a black man with a red bandana and 1 to 2 inches of hair showing between his ear and stocking cap shoot Howell. Jones had a shaved head at the time. Police found the murder weapon wrapped in a red bandana in the Jones's family home. Jones and Jordan were ultimately arrested and indicted for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit a felony, which is the stolen Suburban. I'm trying
Indicted.
to find Oh, sorry. I just see the word and I go off the word.
I get it.
I literally know that too. I know that, Jordan. I'm trying to find the full name of Jordan. Christopher Jordan. I think that's his name.
I think that's his name too. Do you know that he had an alibi for the night of the murder?
Wasn't it his family?
Yeah, he was at his sister's place having dinner.
Yeah. So Jones and his family have maintained that he was eating dinner and playing games at home with his family on the night of the murder. And here's a little fun part that we're gonna read here. So it says Jones also stated that Jordan spent the night at Jones's house on the evening of the murder and maintains that Jordan planted evidence framing Jones for the murder, which is a complete possibility. I'm pretty sure both of the men were arrested in the home. Obviously, it's a possibility. According to Jones, the officer who arrested him called him the N-word and dared him to run, implying that if he did, the officer would shoot him. Also, attention white people. Guess what I just did? I just read a quote from an article that contained the N-word, and I did not have to say the version of the N-word. We can do that, because guess what? It's called the N-word, which I have now stated 4 or 5 fucking times. Anyway, besides the point. Let me just see here. Christopher Jordan, who was the co-defendant, entered a plea agreement with the state in which he confessed to being the getaway driver. He received a 30-year... Where am I? There I am. Sorry. He received a 30-year prison sentence for murder and conspiracy under the condition that he testify against Jones. During the trial, neither Jones nor his family testified, and the defense team did not bring up his alibi. Wow, I'm shocking. Let me see. Jones's public defender, David McKenzie, later stated that this was because he had personally concluded that the alibi defense was untrue. Anyway, 11 out of the 12 jurors at the trial were white. One juror allegedly referred to Jones as an N-word with the hard R. Again, attention white people, we can do that. One juror alleges another. What? Hold on. Why is this weird? What the fuck? Oh, sorry. Oh my God. I was like reading 2 separate lines. It like the line ended and then it went to a different line and I just skipped a line. My bad. So apparently one of the jurors said that another juror called for Jones to be lynched
Oh,
outside of the
lovely.
courthouse.
Lovely.
Which basically, if y'all don't know what lynch means, is basically just like a scrutinized killing by like a group.
Well,
Predominantly
well,
done against black people, and I feel like
it's like a mob mentality,
yeah,
public execution, basically.
yeah, exactly. Jones was found guilty and sentenced to death in 2002. Sorry, I had to take a breather there. Oh my goodness. In 2014, Christopher Jordan was released after serving 15 years in prison for driving the getaway car in Howell's murder. He has allegedly admitted to at least... Wait, what? Oh, to at least 3 others that he shot Howell and framed Jones. David McKenzie, who again was Jones's public defender at the time, later acknowledged he gave ineffective counsel in a 2008... I don't know how to say this word, and this word has appeared twice, and I've skipped it the first time, but like I can't skip it now because I can't think of a word that relates to it.
What's it?
Affidavit?
Yeah, affidavit.
That's how it's pronounced?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry, I literally don't think I've ever seen that word before.
Do you know what that is? I can tell you what it is.
Is it like a... I'm assuming it's some sort of like personal kind of account or like
So yeah, it's a sworn personal statement.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's like you're under oath basically if you give an affidavit.
So he detailed 5 major failures he made in the trial. Here we go. In 2017, a DNA test linked Jones to the red bandana that was found wrapped around the murder weapon found in his family's home. That's honestly not... I feel like that's not like full proof. Because like if like you could have both people wear the bandana and like I don't know. It's just... Anyway, let me see. In March 2021, Oklahoma County District Attorney David Prater wrote a letter to the parole board in which he objected to commutation based on Jones's extensive criminal history. Jones's legal team responded saying that much of what is in this letter is uncharged accusations. He ignores the fact that 3 people came forward and said that Christopher Jordan confessed to them that he committed the murder. Yeah, there's like, this is all like post-conviction stuff. Here we go. I'll just go into like what was kind of said about it recently. So on November 11th, 2021, 5 Republican lawmakers... That's when you know that that's when you know this case is fucked up. Is when Republican lawmakers even agree that this case is fucked up. Anyway, 5 Republican lawmakers, I'm not going to say their names, released a joint statement asking the governor to accept the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board's clemency recommendation. There were all... Okay, it mentions other people, including the American Conservative Union, that also asked the governor to grant Jones clemency. More than 6.3 million people signed a change.org petition requesting that Jones not be executed. The Howell family asked that the execution move forward. Anyway, Governor Stitt met separately with...
Okay, but the thing is, right, is like, okay, so but I can understand that. I just want to say that.
I don't know if I can. I honestly don't know.
If someone killed your family member,
if you don't know that they're the killer?
Okay, but are you
when
thinking...
there's multiple accounts? Yes, absolutely.
Are you
absolutely
thinking rationally, or do you want blood?
This is 20 years later.
No, I know, but it doesn't make it any better.
No, I'm saying that this is 20 years later. This isn't like heat of the moment.
No, I know, but it doesn't make it any better.
If you know that... What do you mean it doesn't make it any better? That they killed somebody? I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying that it's not going to make them less want revenge for it just because it's 20 years.
They don't know who they're getting revenge after, though, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not still going to be heartbroken and want somebody to pay for their actions. Obviously.
I think they're less likely to be thinking super intellectually about, like, oh, is this person that we are for the last 20 years thought killed our family member did it? Like, is that their main goal to like save and like, it's not. I don't think it is. Anyways, but
to not kill an innocent person, potentially innocent person.
You don't get
I mean,
my point.
They don't
just
sound.
Go on. It's not
they
important.
don't sound like a... I mean, well, I'm not going to go into how they sound like fucking idiots, but like, yeah, obviously you're going to want... Your camera's blurry.
Oh, how do I fix that?
It's fine now.
Okay.
Obviously, after no matter how much time has passed, you're going to want repercussions and justice for something like that happens to your brother, your father, like your family member, your friend, whatever. But if you have full knowledge that the person that is potentially being sentenced to death has a chance of being innocent and it could be another person, and you still want this person sentenced to death, that's not revenge. That's like, I don't even know what to classify that as.
Yeah, but they can't think rationally about, like, they probably just think that this person's just trying to get out of being put to death, right? They're not thinking like, oh, like,
I mean, this isn't like a personal thing though. Like I just said that 3 people came forward and said that Jordan came up to them and like said that he framed Jones for the murder and that he was the one that shot him. It's not like it's just, if this would be a different story if this was just Jones maintaining his innocence.
No, I get what you're saying. I just have a little bit of empathy for them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, I mean, I have empathy. I of a thing where it's like, hey, like, you are asking for the execution of a man that you know has a potential to be innocent and that didn't kill your father, instead of, like, okay, also, let's not act, like, a lot of people are thinking that, oh, like, they're just because, like, it's not just he's executed or he's off the hook. Like, that's not just, like, the difference here. He's either executed or, as he has been now, sentenced to life in prison. It's not like a Kyle Rittenhouse situation.
But is that actually going to happen? Because they're not saying, he's not saying, oh, I want a reduction in my sentence. He's saying, I didn't fucking do it.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But, I mean, the American justice system, do you think they're going to let him off the hook?
But how does that make any sense for them to be like, okay, yeah, we won't put you to death, but we fucked up, so we'll just give you life? Like, what?
Because it's the American, yeah, I know, because it's.
But also, you do realize that if for some reason they decide to give him life instead of put him to death, like, I'm pretty sure he's eligible for parole, like not too far in the future.
His sentence is literally life imprisonment.
No, you're eligible for parole.
No,
you're eligible
Jordan,
for
there
parole.
is a sentence where you do not become eligible.
Well, then how come in the Larry Nassar case?
Because that was a different. I'm pretty sure that was a completely different charge. That's not first degree murder, Jordan.
So life sentences in murder cases
are different than.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, criminal penalty, life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Yeah, in this case, in his case, yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's not a thing, which is why the judge acted in.
Okay, fair enough. Anyways, go on.
Governor Stitt met separately with Howell's family and Jones's defense team, but did not meet with the Jones family. Wow, I'm so shocked. Here we go. Okay, this is about the commutation. So on November 18th, that's so funny. That's my dad's birthday. Fuck that bitch. Governor Stitt commuted Jones's sentence to life. Commuted Jones's sentence to life without parole less than 4 hours before his scheduled execution. As a condition of clemency, Stitt ordered that Jones will never be eligible for a further commutation or pardon for the rest of his life. It is rare for death row inmates to be granted clemency by an Oklahoma governor, with only 4 having occurred prior to Jones. 3 by Brad Henry and 1 by Frank Keating. That doesn't really play in relation to the case. Anyway, following the decision, Jones's family thanked Governor Stitt for sparing Jones from execution, but also acknowledged they would keep fighting for his release. Jones's mother praised God and Governor Stitt and issued a statement saying, "I still believe that every day Julius spends behind bars is an injustice, and I will never stop speaking out for him or fighting to free him. But today is a good day." I'm not saying the next part of this because I don't fucking annoying. I don't know. Okay, this annoys the fucking hell out of me, actually. Why is this a part of this article? Like, this says that Kim Kardashian also sent out a series of tweets thanking the governor for commuting his sentence.
I found that.
Why
too.
is this relevant to the article?
Okay, it might not be relevant to the article, but I think it's relevant in the case of, like, that's what Kim Kardashian's been doing recently.
There are many other celebrities that do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, bitch.
I hear you.
It annoys the fuck out of me when, like, that, like, this has no relevance at all to
Okay.
this fucking
So,
case.
okay, I want to jump in on here too. I have a couple points. So, I already mentioned that he had an alibi. So that's like big. That's like
Oh, alibi
your
is like basically the biggest thing in a case.
that yeah, that's like the case is over.
Yes.
Okay. So, there's a couple things. Okay, so jury selection. Did you read about jury selection in the
Oh,
during
they
the
had
trial?
11 white people.
Okay, but not just that. The judge excluded numerous blacks because they had either committed crimes or been victims of crimes, but he didn't do the same for the white jurors.
Shocking.
So 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 that's fucked. And the second thing is there's a theory that the defense threw the case because apparently the defense was fucking pathetic. It was like they weren't trying.
I mean, yeah, that follows suit with how this fucking case is reading to be have. Jesus Christ, how the fuck do I put that into words? Uh, yeah, I don't know how to put that into words. I was gonna say to be have gone, but that to have been gone, but yeah, that follows suit to what this case is looking like from how it's described on multiple articles.
Did you also hear too? I think this is interesting, and it's not really relevant to the case, but it's I thought it was interesting. So I was reading about like the background, What's the fellow's name who they say who's on death row right now? Something
Julius
Jordan.
Jones or Christopher Jordan?
Sorry, Julius Jones. Julius Jones. Um, the thing about Julius Jones was so he was an exceptional high school student. Like he had high three levels GPA. He received a scholarship to a post secondary institution, and then at some point his behavior just changed. He started hanging out with criminals. He started committing crimes, multiple arrests. So I mean, it's not really relevant to the case, but I found that odd.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just like a full change in behavior. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. Because he seemed like an academic beforehand. Like it's not easy to get a scholarship, right? Um, yeah, it was just odd. Something stuck out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Trying to read more. So okay, so the family of Paul Howell responded to this decision by saying that they took comfort in the fact that Jones would not be eligible for parole or be considered for a commutation for the remainder of his life. The Attorney General of Oklahoma was disappointed, claiming that the death penalty was warranted in Jones's case, even without knowing if he was innocent or guilty.
They're saying his only hope left is to have his sentence commuted.
Well, I mean, apparently that won't be done for the rest of his life. I've mentioned this before, but I mean, I think it's more just in this case, but I've mentioned the fact that I don't, and in a lot of cases that I read about, I don't believe in justice. I think that obviously it's a better decision to not murder someone who could potentially be innocent. But I don't look at this as like justice. I still don't. He's in prison for the rest of his life without eligibility of parole or a further commutation. He still could be innocent. Like I'm not saying like it's just there should be more of an investigation into this. There wasn't a good enough one to begin with, which there should have been, but shocking. This happens a lot with cases like these. It's just there should be more of an investigation to finding different parts of this case that they haven't looked at. The fact that the alibi was basically thrown out the window from the start is very apparent to the case that followed with Jones. And it's just, I don't know. There are people that I wonder what the statistics are with people that are in prison that are later found to be innocent, not just like on death row or like receiving the death penalty.
Well, okay. So the thing is, and I thought you were gonna. This is where I thought you were going with it. That you didn't. I thought you were gonna say you didn't believe in capital punishment because me and you have talked about this off camera. There's a statistic out there in the states that says that 1 in every 10 people that are executed for that are sentenced to capital punishment are innocent, which is extremely high in my opinion. I think that that's a reason in itself to do away with it. But like, I mean, conservatively, what would in this case, what would you put the percentage of him being innocent? 50-50 conservatively, right? Like,
I mean, like honestly, I don't think there's enough of details. I wish this was more of like a current case, because I feel like it would be more accessible to have
yes,
more
absolutely.
details about like the 2002 conviction and
Hmm.
like everything that went on with that case, because then I could probably form a better opinion. Right now it's closer to 50-50, just because of what I'm reading, and just
Yeah.
because of like I don't have enough to kind of give an educated guess or prediction or
Did you hear about like when he was questioned by police, like how his story, apparently he just couldn't keep his story straight. So initially it was, I never handled the gun. Then it was, oh yeah, I just loaded the gun. Um, and then he would use lots of I statements, but then he would like retract them right away. Because I've heard that in interrogations, one of the main things that police will say is if the person's not using I statements, then that's like an indication of lying because they're trying to distance themselves from the situation.
yeah.
They'll either talk about themselves in third person or they'll just talk about other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I statements is usually an indication of I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of cases in terms of like when there's multiple people involved, say with Jones and Jordan, where you might be looking to like save the other person. So like you make yourself look a certain way so that the other person can potentially get off, or like vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of have talks with that. Maybe that gets put into play here. Um, I mean, I don't believe in capital punishment. Like on the even if I mean, we've talked about this off camera before, about like what if it was like 1 in 100 or like 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000. Like even that would still be
I'd have to think
too
about that still.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like
Um.
one in 100, I would still say
Oh
no.
no,
That's too
no,
much.
that's way too much.
One in 1,000, like honestly, like just think about that first. Like, okay, 1 in 1,000 sounds like nothing, right? That's like 0.1%, right? But like think about being that one person.
Yeah.
Okay. You're on death row for killing somebody. Like you didn't do it and your life's gonna end. Like I don't know if like any number of getting convictions right and having them executed makes up for that.
There are also people out there, and this kind of like I've talked about this before, but this kind of varies across the line. But there are people out there that want the death sentence, that do what they do because they want to die and they want to make other people suffer. There are also people on the other end that pretend to be crazy to get out of capital
Mm-hmm.
punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I think from an economical sense, though, like if you think about it, like for example, I remember reading, and I don't know where this stat came from, what year it was. I think it was this U.S. stat though, that to house and feed a someone in a penitentiary for a year is like 60 grand.
oh yeah, I think you brought this up before too.
Yeah. So like in that sense, like I understand, like it makes sense. Like I don't know, as a taxpayer, like if somebody's murdered people and you know that they've done it, like it kind of makes sense in that aspect. But like I wouldn't want in that same breath, I still don't want it brought to
It's
Canada.
yeah, yeah. It's just like I even in those aspects, I still don't believe in capital punishment.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
like my mind might be in a different state if this was like heavily related to me, like say if it was a family member or a friend, not
That's
you
what
though.
and that's what
Um,
I'm saying. And fuck you.
but like that's like a I don't know. That's like the odds of that happening versus the odds of somebody else like getting a death penalty, like or just like in the world, obviously is vastly different. I just. I just I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe that like that funding is like relating. Although I do understand the point that's being brought up, and like a lot of people do resort to that it's a lot of funding for people. Also, is that a U.S. statistic of like that much funding towards people in prison?
It was a US statistic.
There are like
Statistic.
there are also many people doing prison time for stuff like weed charges, drug charges that they shouldn't
Yeah.
even be in
Yeah.
prison for. There are things like I mentioned before, like innocent people in prison.
Yeah.
Um,
The mandatory minimums with the low level drug charges really pisses me off.
hmm But I just no, it's just, I don't know. It's very ironic to me because
But
I don't think I'll ever be in favor of the death penalty. I don't think I really have ever been in favor of the death penalty. I mean, maybe I've said this 5 minutes or 2 minutes ago. The only way I can kind of see myself in favor of it if it was somebody that like murdered someone that was close to me.
see, but even like I can think of like, do you know like the Clifford Olson case in Canada? Do you remember him? So he was a child serial killer, and I think he's dead now, if I remember correctly. He died a few
Like
years ago.
he was a serial killer as a child, or he killed
No.
children?
Oh, sorry. No, he killed children in
Okay.
Canada. So he died in prison. He's dead now. But like, if he got the death penalty, not sad. Like, completely not sad. But also, like, I think that we can't assign the death penalty based on like, oh, you killed kids, so then
Exactly.
so I think based on that argument, like, we can't have it. But like, if somebody like that, if that happened to them, I'm cool with it.
I mean, majority of people from like I think JCS, the criminal psychology YouTube channel, they'd brought this up too. Majority of people like don't want to be in prison for the rest of their lives. They look at like being in prison for the rest of their lives worse
As a harsher punishment?
As a harsher punishment
Yes.
than
And you know what? If it was me, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, okay, like let's say you're 30 and you're never getting out of prison. You're looking at like 50 years in prison, right? Like, I don't want that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want that. But I think that when you're like, and I'm totally projecting here, but I'm thinking that when they're applying the death penalty, it's not always about punishing the person. It's a combination of punishing the person, appeasing the victims or whoever's left in the victim's family, and then also like not being a burden on the system.
Yeah.
Right. Like I told you in that Larry Nassar case, the judge says the sentence is supposed to stop reoffense. So capital punishment definitely does that. Stop reoffense, discourage others from doing it. And then there was one other that I can't think of. So
Yeah.
in that sense, like, it makes like the death penalty works. But I agree. Like, if let's say somebody killed somebody in my family, like I think I would like if they got capital punishment. I would get some sort of revenge factor out of that. But I would also get revenge factor thinking like, you're never getting out of prison.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, the Howell family kind of stated like they were relieved that
when I was researching that, I felt really bad for him and his family. Like, that was horrible that he had to die. Like, they literally, like, I was hearing that like they just gone out for ice cream, and he was with his daughter and his sister, I think.
Of course.
Like, for him, like, I felt horrible.
Yeah, of course. It's a horrible situation. You know what I also find ironic?
What?
Is that like a certain party that has a certain viewpoint being quote unquote pro-life is pro-death penalty. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about this off camera. It's quite a contradiction.
So ironic to me. And then like, if you ask them about it, like, hey, why are you pro-death penalty but you categorize yourself as pro-life? Then they'll be like, oh no, this relates we're just talking about abortion. And then I'm like, oh,
but Justin, all life is precious, don't you know?
Yes, prune. Yes, dried up raisin.
I want you to get the death penalty. Little bitch.
Our life is so precious. Did you know as fetuses we have tails?
Yeah, I do, because we have a tailbone.
Mood. No, I mean like full on tails though.
You still have a full on tail.
I know, I really do. It's just in the front. Ew, I take that back. That was gross.
What the fuck?
No.
You know, there's like every once in a while you say things where I'm like, why do I like associate with this person? Why am I in a business venture with this person?
Because you have nobody else to associate with.
Are you sure about that?
I'm 100% certain.
Well, it must be true because I chose you.
True.
Right?
Period. I'm always the last choice.
Right.
Just ask the person that you used to work at Chapters with.
I'm glad how you can laugh about it at least.
Thank you. Without smacking a bitch. I I don't know if this is going to happen. I hope that it will, but I hope that more investigation will be put into this case. And then if certain things are found to where, if Jones is guilty, then yes, this is actually, I'm trying to like, what do you think the most accurate sentence is for first-degree murder? Do you think it's life in prison?
Yes. You?
I would probably agree. So yeah, if he's found guilty, and I think if anyone is found guilty, then yeah, I would agree that that's an accurate sentence to give them. But if they find him to potentially be innocent, then I would hope that he would have a further commutation. But apparently, from what I'm reading, they're not going to grant him that.
No.
It's insane how stuff like this is still happening. I mean, obviously, this is a sentence from 19 years ago, but there are still cases in which not enough evidence is substantial and even a verdict, and someone is still given the death sentence or life in prison or 25 plus years, especially with cases like this impactful. Like, this is first degree murder we're talking about here. This isn't just like robbery or like stealing or theft or, like a gun charge. This is, yeah, I don't really know if further investigation will be put into this. A lot of people are calling for it. I obviously hope that it will, because I think there has been a lot of injustice in this case. I still think there is a lot of injustice going in this case.
This case is pretty loud right now, but I don't think it's loud enough to actually get like anything done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. But I mean, you never know.
I mean,
it could
honestly,
surprise
like,
us.
I would think, like, I think I'm somebody who like generally knows what's going on, and like I'd never heard about this case until you wanted to talk about it.
I mean, until it became more of until it posed more of a relevant position, I didn't really know much about it either. But
what do we have for runtime?
Just over an hour and a half.
You know what's funny is I haven't eaten today yet. And I like placed a Uber Eats order, and I was like timed it. I wanted to time it like perfectly right.
When is it coming?
Well, it's saying 7:10, but I think it's probably going to be like 7:05.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Right? That's pretty good, right? Pretty good timing.
It is. Should we move on to our of the sessions?
Let's do it. Fuck, okay. I gotta think of one of these again. I feel like I
have one, and we're just doing like random shit. So because the last few episodes have kind of been like more random, but this one's gonna be I guess I don't know really what to call it, but like a mention or like a shout out to just like a random person that you know and a random person that you don't know. Could be like a celebrity or like someone that you've found recently.
This is weird.
Good.
I don't know how I feel about this.
It should be. This is what this session is all about. This is what this podcast is all about.
I don't like this.
You can't give a shout out to someone you know, just a random person.
What if they don't want a shout out?
Oh, T. Shit. Okay, wait. Because I totally forgot about like consent things with like saying people's names.
Right? Like there was one where, you know what it was? I forget what the topic was, but I won't mention the person, but we talked about something and my friend listened to it and he messaged me. He said, "Thank you for not mentioning me because I know you." And I was like, I thought about you, but I didn't say it.
I wonder what it was.
I could ask him again. I could find out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder what that was about. I can't think of anything relating to that. That's funny though.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we should do that one. I'm just looking around trying to find something.
Okay, I got mine.
Holy shit! Okay, go.
So this is probably gonna be another one where it's like two things instead of like current fave versus all-time fave. Mm-hmm. So your two favorite like drinks other than water. And they don't have to be alcoholic, but they can be.
Two favorite drinks other than water. Do you already have yours?
Um,
So we're doing like two faves and we're not doing like now and all time?
I guess okay, we can do let's do like I guess we can do like an all-time and then we can do like a recent craving.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. So, my recent craving is probably I've seen this recently. This two things, I guess. So, remember when I talked about cranberry Sprite?
Yeah.
So that's probably the first one. I really want to
Okay.
try that. I still haven't tried that. And my second one, just because it's the season, eggnog. I love eggnog. So good.
That's a good choice.
And
So
my oh,
you're not done
okay, no,
yet?
well, my all time, bitch.
Okay, go,
No,
go.
no, no.
Jesus
You do
Christ.
yours. We'll do all time together.
Okay. So currently flavored sparkling water.
Mood. Oh my god, wait, is that bubble or bubbly?
Yeah.
I literally just I took one out of my room. It was the orange
What's the
one.
flavor?
I think the orange
Oh,
one.
that's a good one. That's
Or
a
like
good one.
it might have been like peach or mango or whatever.
This
But
is cherry. This is cherry.
it's probably a good one too. Do you like
All
club
right.
soda? Sorry.
Oh yeah. I like
Okay,
club
good,
soda.
good.
I have like one of those soda streams.
Oh yeah, just like okay, literally my friend had that and I would just make carbonated water.
That's what I do.
And
I don't
they were
flavor
like,
it.
"Why is that?" Or they were like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm just like, "Why not? It's fucking
Why not?
good."
I don't buy that flavoring shit. I just want carbonated water.
Exactly.
But okay, so all time I'll go first. Iced tea.
Okay. Do you I'm just going off of like what my friend's order is. So when they get it from like McDonald's or something, they'll get it without ice. So they'll just get tea. No, I'm just kidding. So they'll get like a large iced tea without the ice in it. Do you get yours with or without ice?
Um, with ice.
Remember the powder that was in like that big tin for iced tea? Like the Nestle powder?
Yes, yes.
So I
yes.
used to douse like well, I don't really know how to describe it accurately, but I used to put so much of that fucking powder and then just a little bit of water. That was
Really?
so good. I miss that fucking I miss that powder so much.
So go. You're all time.
Oh yeah.
You don't even
Anyone
know yet?
anyone who knows me probably knows that I'm gonna say Sprite, so I'd probably have to go with Sprite.
Oh, that's super
I'm a
lame.
basic hoe.
That's super lame.
Sorry, Miss Carbonated Water. Fuck you. I mean, other than Sprite, I would maybe say orange juice.
Super lame too.
Carbonated water. Iced tea. Iced tea.
You ever gone to the States and ordered a nice tea by
Ew,
mistake?
gross. We went to I think Great Wolf Lodge. Isn't that just in Washington?
Yeah, I think so.
And we like got dinner and I was like, yeah, I'll get like an iced tea. And then like I drank it. I'm just like, ew, this is literally like iced fucking patent tea. Like gross. This is disgusting.
Do you know apparently you know what they call that in the States? You have to ask for a sweet tea. Then that's what they give you.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, in this
Yeah.
game that I play, it's called Sweet Tea.
But I still do it all the time. Like if I took a trip to the States like tomorrow, I definitely order an iced tea and then be like, fuck.
It's just ugh.
Honestly, though, it makes sense, right? Like it's iced tea. Like fuck. Ours is just a bunch of fucking sugar. There's no actual tea in it. Thanks, Nest Tea. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually so true. Why do they call it iced tea?
I think it probably because it just started out as like iced tea with sugar, and then they just took the tea out at some point.
When I worked at a specific fast food chain that used to be just relevant to the States until Burger King bought it. Or sorry, that used to be just relevant to Canada until Burger King bought it.
You may as well have just said it.
Okay, when I used to work at McDonald's, I'm just gonna Tim Hortons. We have obviously anyone who's been to Tim Hortons knows that there's like a plethora of teas that we have, and so I literally like every day I would make myself like a large tea, and I would just put so much sugar in it, and then I would get like an ice cap cup, and I would put like a bunch of ice in it, and then I would just like pour it in, and it was
Okay,
so good.
Before we run out of time, I totally forgot until now. I found that Microsoft thing I was talking about.
Hold on, why are you acting as if we're on a limit?
Because I have to go get my food eventually.
Before we run out of time, because I have to get my food that's coming here in 10 minutes.
They reassigned me a driver, so I think I actually have some more time now. So yeah, do you think it's a copyright law if I just like play the audio for everybody?
Audio of what?
It's like a Microsoft Ignite ad, I think. or like some sort of like conference.
It might be a copyright issue.
But Rogan played it. He played the audio.
I mean, that's also Rogan. I'm pretty sure he can get rights properly. Like, there's like a lot of things like behind the scenes that I was talking to our editor about, and like if you even if it's like noted as non-copyright, you still have to give credit, and it's just like I would have to look into what it's, and especially with Microsoft, that's a huge company.
Damn it. Okay, I can't play it then. But
I mean, we can probably link it. We can probably link like the video and like our YouTube video or
okay.
What is it called?
Well, the video I found was just literally someone reacting to it.
Okay.
So it was, the title of the video was just Microsoft ignites woke level, reaches critical mass.
Mood. Oh, you know what's funny? I just remembered one of my Twitch emotes that like my subscribers have is me drinking Sprite. Because at the time,
now you're going back to Sprite.
When my editor made, what do you mean back to Sprite? At the time that my editor made it, I was like, well, I mean, I still really do like Sprite. I just haven't had it in a while. I was like obsessed with it, and I would always, I ordered McDonald's a lot. So like my go-to drink for McDonald's was a Sprite. And so, yeah, I was like, you should do this with me holding a Sprite. And it's super, super cute. It's super cute. I love it. Love it so much. Super cute. Yeah. Where do you, what's your go-to like place to get drinks from? Whether it be like soda or iced tea.
The fucking grocery store?
Well, do you have like a preferred iced tea? Like is Nestle your just preferred iced tea?
Brisk.
Oh, okay. Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. Don't they have like a different type of iced tea? Like Brisk? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a different color. But it's still like iced tea.
I don't fuck with a classic.
Oh, okay. Jeez. Because I was gonna say, I feel like my favorite place to go to get like Sprite or like 7-Up is Wendy's, because their drinks are so big. Their large drinks are fucking huge. But yeah, I haven't been to Wendy's in a while. Maybe I'll go soon. Grab a Baconator.
Gross.
Baconator's so good.
Too much bacon, too much ketchup.
Oh my god! Imagine saying that, Mister. I like pineapple on my fucking pizza. Ugh. Ew, don't do that. Don't do what you started the fucking call doing. That was actually disgusting.
So yeah, for people,
I'm fully scarred.
I'm sorry that you guys had to miss this, but so Justin always says that when I first jump on screen with him, that I'm
like an
always
old
like,
man.
I'm like really close to the screen, and I'm like, I look like really shocked. So like today, for a fact, I like went as close to the camera as I could. And he was like, I could see it. He was disgusted. Like he was gonna throw up.
I did. Yeah, should we end it here?
Okay, yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining, as always. We will catch you guys next week. Be sure to let us know if you have any opinions or if you want us to talk about anything that you can think of, and we'll try to incorporate it if we can. But yeah. We will catch you next time. Bye, guys.